Yo guys, my name's GhostX and today I've got a sort of a different video for you guys. So I thought I would show you some early footage of the House of Wolves expansion 2 that's releasing sort of around April, June and July time for Destiny. So Bungie have confirmed now that the House of Wolves expansion 2 DLC will definitely drop in Q2 of this year. They haven't given an exact date, but it will be between April, June and July. So that's when we can look forward for this DLC. So if you don't know, you can actually glitch into the areas, the sort of unfinished areas for this expansion. The first of which being called Dusk Warren. Now, I'm not going to put a tutorial of how to get to these areas because it is quite complicated, and watching it still is a bit difficult to take as a tutorial. So I thought I'd just show off as much as I can from getting in these areas. So just to note again, these areas aren't accessible through legitimate means. You have to glitch into these areas or hack into them, or however you want to get into these areas. They're not meant to be not meant to be got to because they are unfinished. The texture's actually there. It's just there's no enemies, and they're sort of just waiting for the expansion to come along to make them accessible. So this area is pretty cool, the Dusk Warren area. There's actually a fallen teleporter here that takes you, it actually works as well, it takes you to the Traitor's Ketch, which is the next area I'll show you. So this portal does look really cool. It's actually literally ready for the expansion. It all works and everything. It's even the mission marker hovers over the teleport, telling you that you can actually use it to access an area where there may be missions, which is pretty interesting. Now I did actually find that a lot of the markings around here are fallen markings, so this is definitely part of House of Wolves. I mean, I can't think of this as being part of Plague of Darkness. It's too complete to be that far away. So yeah, this is definitely coming out soon, so it's worth having a look at these areas and trying to find spots that may be useful in case there's a boss fight. So you can see this teleport is really cool. It does fully function as well. The only issue here is you can't actually get back to the Dusk Warren, so make sure you have a look around before going on this teleport because you can't get back. So do make sure you do that first. But yeah, this area is still called Dusk Warren until you pass through a threshold, which is the door, which will probably be fixed within the actual expansion, because this entire area is actually a ship up in the air above the Dusk Warren called the Traitor's Ketch, which is, if you haven't played the Scourge of Winter, I think, yeah, Scourge of Winter mission within the actual story, you'll probably know what a Ketch is anyway if you've played that mission. You should get to go into a Devil's Ketch. This is a House of Winter's Ketch, I believe, that's been stolen by the House of Wolves, and they're sort of hiding within. You can see a lot of House of Winter marks over it, not to mention the light blue colour-esque styling on it. But further in, you'll start to see House of Wolves marks as well. So yeah, as I said, you can't use this teleport. I've tried to really show off this area, see if I could get the teleporter working, but it doesn't. I've also tried to find some other ways to glitch out of this area, and there isn't, to my knowledge. But yeah, that's a House of Wolves mark right there. But as you can see, the doors open automatically, and they're just like the ones in the Ketch on the Devil one. And I believe this entire area, the Dusk Warren and the Traitor's Ketch, is built all for one strike, which was leaked as part of this sort of glitch that happened on this person's console, and it leaked all of the actual expansion strikes and raids and stuff. And one of them was basically described as going into a Traitor's Ketch and defeating a fallen walker, and I believe this entire area is actually that. So you gotta prepare yourself for that strike, and if you get a chance to look at this area, try and find some spots that may be useful. It gives it away in the description for the strike that effectively you're fighting a walker. You should know what they are, the fallen walkers. They're pretty easy to kill, so I'm not quite sure why they're doing a strike that's based around that. But as you can see, as you pass that threshold, it does tell you that you are actually in the Traitor's Ketch. So I can imagine these entire areas will actually be filled with enemies when the DLC drops. However, in a lot of strikes, there's actually a lot of areas, a long time where there's actually no enemies for quite a while, so you can just run around a long area where there's no enemies. So that part might be the Dusk Warren. It might be completely void of enemies until you get to the teleporter, which is what I'd imagine. You also got to remember, on the way to the Dusk Warren, there's a lot of inaccessible areas that no one has been able to glitch into yet. They're still not in the actual base game. So those could be part of this strike, or they could be just part of the expansion. So those are other areas. So it's not just going to be what I've showed you today, the Dusk Warren and the Traitor's Ketch. That won't just be the entire strike area. There'll be more to it than that. Or there might just be more to the entire expansion than just this, you know, there's just this area that we can glitch into. But yeah, this is all. This entire area is just for one of the strikes of the DLC. Now, at the moment, we only know that of one strike that's actually coming within the expansion, whereas we got two with the Dark Below, but one of them was a PlayStation exclusive. So I don't think we're going to get another PlayStation exclusive because it was marked on the leaked presentation that it did have two strikes, whereas so far the leaked House of Wolves says it's only going to have one strike, and this is the strike that they're talking about, the Traitor's Ketch. So it's pretty cool to get into this area and have a look around and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, it did take me a lot of attempts to do the glitch. I would search it on YouTube and try and find someone who can do a proper tutorial because I messed it up too many times to make a proper tutorial on it. It is very difficult with a tie-in. I would not recommend trying to do it with a tie-in. I found in the end it was probably better to do it with a warlock. That's how I actually did it, but it's also the guy that I watched actually did it with a hunter, so I'll give credit to him, even though I cannot remember his YouTube name for the life of me, but he's the one who I watched, and he's the reason I actually got into this area. I wouldn't have been able to get here without other YouTubers putting up tutorials on how to do it, but I thought I'd show it around anyways. You've got some missiles here from Daito, which is actually one of the manufacturing companies within Destiny, and this thing here, the guy I was watching described it as a nuke. You can actually get inside. I think it's just an empty shell of some sorts. There's a lot of areas up here with locked doors you just can't open or don't open automatically. I'm assuming these are going to be enemy spawners, so this is where the Fallen are going to come out of. And I'm assuming you're probably just going to fight House of Wolves here, as it is the House of Wolves DLC, and it makes more sense fighting them rather than the House of Exile or House of Winter, which we're quite used to fighting. On the moon is usually the House of Exile we fight, which are the greenish ones. So because this is all marked in blue, it's more than likely this is House of Wolves. The House of Wolves have the dark blue sort of colour scheme. But sometimes it's hard to differentiate between the House of Wolves and House of Winter because they both sport blue colours. All you got to remember is the House of Winter is the lighter blue that's almost white. So this entire area, as you can tell, is definitely blue or even dark blue, so definitely House of Wolves. So this area we're going to now is the final room you can actually access within this glitch. And I'm assuming this is the boss room. It does definitely look like it. And you'll actually see in this room, there's two fallen walkers, which do look like fake models, as in they're not going to actually jump down and fight you. I've gone up there and had a look at them, and either they're incomplete and awaiting the expansion, but more likely it looks like they're not actually animatable. You can sometimes tell when objects are animatable, if that's even a word. You can see if they're going to move just by looking at them. And I gotta be honest, these walkers don't look like they move. They just look like statues or fakes or just something. But that could just be the fact that this is a glitch and it's incomplete. We don't know. But you are going to fight a walker in this room. That's pretty much confirmed. But I just don't think it's the two walkers that are above in the sort of areas that look like they can sort of like be dragged out by these cranes. But no. But yeah, I can think it'll probably come out of this area here. The circular ground is probably going to come out of there. But I want to see what they do with this, because if they literally just make it a normal walker fight, I don't see how that makes this strike special. I mean, the area is fantastic, it looks amazing, but I wouldn't ruin it with such a basic fight as a walker. I mean, we get them as public events, we've fought them millions of times within the Devil's Lair strike on Earth. I can't see why would they make an entire strike focused on a walker where there's already a walker as a secondary boss within the Devil's Lair. So I'm kind of confused as to why they would do that. Unless this is some kind of ultra walker, you know, maybe even better than a normal walker, as in more deadly, maybe it has more weapons. Maybe the wolves have more technology than the other fallen houses, to where it's just a bigger walker or more powerful. That would change things up. It just needs to be different. I can't imagine a walker just coming out of the ground, you having to fight it. It's going to be crap. We all know how to kill walkers. They're pretty easy to kill. I can't see why they would do that. But yeah, I just ran around this area a lot and tried to find some good spots that might be useful. And that area I'm looking at now is them two walker statues I was on about. And they literally just look like walker statues. If you see here, they're just silver. They look like they're sort of walkers that are being manufactured in this area, not actually fully made. They haven't got a paint scheme on them or any marking, to just plain silver. You can kind of see what I mean. I don't think you're going to fight these ones. They don't look like it anyway. But they do look a lot more futuristic and well built than the actual walkers. So maybe you're going to fight something like that. That's, you know, maybe a bit more futuristic in a way than standard walkers. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you on my next video. Go Dusk out.